Pelicans, what fucking assholes they are, gobbling up ducks and shit. They're assholes. My brother got in a fight with one. He hit it with a sword, and an hour and a half later, it showed up with a couple of his buddies. Let me tell you this story real quick. I'm not going to give you the fucking Anne Frank version or anything, but...
No, tell us the full version. We want to hear this. Pelicans and swords.
This was back when I was jousting and shit, and I was living on a 25-foot Coronado sailboat in Marina Del Rey. I got to tell you this one real quick. The next morning, I'm up at like 7. I barely slept. I had to take a shit. And because my boat's only 25 feet, it doesn't have a head on it. So I just pulled down my pants and just leaned over the side, dropped the deuce. And with the current and the breeze, it just happened to like float Mr. Hanky over to Steve's boat. And he's still asleep. And it just started like smearing itself all over the side of his hull. It looked like anyways, so eventually his ass gets up, and there was no wind. It was just like a little bit of a rain. So we were just motoring, and he hit me up on the radio. He said, "I'm gonna hop in the shower. I got the autopilot set. If something happens, just let me know. I got the radio on." I'm like, okay. So I'm just sitting there at the tiller on my boat. And like 20 minutes goes by, and this big fucking pelican shows up, lands on his boat. And it's just kind of cruising around, checking out his boat. Yeah. And I get on the radio, and I'm like, "Steve, are you there?" He's like, "Yeah, what do you want? I just got out of the shower." I said, "You've been boarded." He's like, "Stop fucking around." He thought that I was on his boat or some shit or something. He thought I was goofing around. I'm like, "No, Steve, you don't understand, dude. Like, you've been boarded by a pelican." He's like, "Where is it?" I said, "It's over the entryway there, the hatch and everything." And it was right there. And he slid open the hatch, and he lifted his head up, and they were like eye to eye, and they both jumped. He slid the hatch back, and he got on the radio. He's like, "Where's that fucker at now?" I'm like, "Dude, it's still there."
He's waiting.
So this is where shit gets funny. He went all the way to the front of the boat, and he opened up that hatch where the V-berth is. And, they have these cushions. They're like a square, like 16 inch by 16 inch. Their cushions they have these little straps on them. They're also flotation devices. If somebody falls overboard, you just toss it to them. He put one of those on around his arms like that. He's using it as a shield, and he's got his fucking sword from jousting.
He's going to war, baby.
He's got his towel on. He didn't even get dressed. His hair's still wet. He climbs out the front. This fucking pelican sees him and starts doing this shit, like wobbling towards him. And Steve, like, he's presenting this cushion to him, and he slaps that fucking pelican with his sword. The thing like made a noise, and it tried to fly off, and it got tangled up in the cables, and it fell in the water. And Steve's like, "Yeah, fuck you!" And then the fucking pelican flew off. I thought that was it. About an hour and a half later, 3 more pelicans show up with the same one that Steve hit.
Oh,
undercover. He had to hide down below. He stayed down there for like 15 minutes, and I'm like, "Steve, they're not going away." He fucking jumped out from the front again, and he had a package of hot dogs, and he's just blasting these pelicans with hot dogs until they left.